Stripe has this really interesting effect where they have their text on top of this diagonally background thing, but the background moves and changes a little bit, and it influences the text. I tried doing it on my own, and I was just banging my head against the wall, and I thought it would be a fun video to look at how we can actually dive into their code to see how they did it, so I can replicate the effect on my own to be able to learn new things and new techniques and all of that. So let's dive right into it, and you can see I have literally nothing set up right now, and I have the Stripe thing that I'm trying to build. I'm also trying a new setup right now where I have everything open. I'm recording 3 things at once. So if you ever see me like really turning my head over, it's because I'm looking at the layout that we're building, because it's all the way over there for me. And yeah, so we have this like text that's on top. You can see that text color coming through. So the first thing we're going to do, let's just come in. I'm not going to put in the images here. We're really just going to focus on this side. So parts of this that I can do on my own that I can sort of figure out. Let's come in here and just do like a header.hero, I guess, and whatever. In there, let's have an H1, and we'll use their text. I was going to write it out, but if we can copy and paste it, ooh, that's kind of weird. When I get right to the end, it takes everything. So maybe there's something going on there. But there we go. We have something coming in. I think what I'll do is just add some basic styling and be back with you in 1 second. Okay, so that looks a little bit better. Basically, I just put some very, very simple styling, and I also added a container here just to keep the text sort of more in the middle a little bit. And so I think we're ready to get started. And before I look at their own code to see what they did, obviously we need to bring in this like background effect, and I don't want to make one on my own. So I did find this one that's moving way too fast. It's kind of crazy. But basically they're using a canvas to be able to do it. So I think I'm going to use that and just slow down their canvas so we have something in the background. And that could be a nice another one. So let's just take that. We're going to add a canvas and throw that into my hero, I guess. We'll throw that here. And then we can see there's not too much styling that has to go on there. So let's come in, and that we can add right here for now. So it's taking up all the space. It's 100 and 100. So we've lost the rest of our page, which you'd sort of expect. And they have all of this that's happening. So I'm just going to take all of this and copy it for now. And I do have a JavaScript file, so we can go in here and paste it. So here, document get element by ID canv. So obviously we do need to add that on there. So let's come back to my oh, we have the canvas. Now, interestingly, it's not working. So let's go and figure out why not. We'll just use our dev tools, I guess, and they're off screen. 1 second. Console, X is not defined. All the way down here. We have T for X, And we have then a loop with for Y in there. So here it's saying X is not defined. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but that if that works, then it's going to say Y is not defined. Y is not defined. Okay. I don't know why it's working on the code pen, but maybe because of the way the modules work. I'm not sure. But there we go. We fixed it, and we have something working. Now body will also do a margin of 0 here. Perfect. Now the one problem is it's obviously way too fast. So we have to find out how it's working. I'm guessing t is equal to time, just based on everything else I looked at here. So we're going to play with the time. So let's try making the time 0.5, which I apologize, that's way too fast. Let's make it 0.5. Still kind of fast. 0.1. That looks a little bit better, actually. There we go. Perfect. So we have a speed that's working for us in there, and I'm not going to worry too much about the rest of this because it's working. So that's giving us our canvas. It's giving us that in the background. Next, we need to sort of limit where it is. And right now I just put the canvas like this. I'm going to move it underneath just for now, just so we can actually see our text at the top. But because we need to sort of change the shape of this, I think what I'm going to do is make a canvas container. And I know I haven't looked at Stripe's code yet, and we're going to get there. But I just want to sort of get things at least off to the right track. So we have sort of everything in place, and then we can worry about how to actually get that layering of the text that I couldn't figure out how to do at all. So we have the canvas container. And the reason I want to do a canvas container is I think it's going to be easier to do this. We have my canvas. So let's come here and say canvas container. And we don't have to worry about, do I want to set a height on it? Let's just set a height of like, or we'll set a max height, maybe max No, we'll set a height of like 70 VH. No, less than that. I'm looking at theirs, maybe 50 VH. So there we go. But now we need it to have that angle on there. And the easiest way to do that, and I'll go over here, is clip. If you just do clip path, CSS, the first or second result is always this one, which is perfect. I'm going to take trapezoid, just move those points over and move that up a bit, and copy that. I think you just, is it copying? They used to have a copy button. Anyway, that's fine. So then on my canvas container, I can put that, and there we go. We have a shape to it. Let's go back to Stripe. Theirs is a bit more aggressive. So this is 0, 0 is top left, 100, 0 is top right, and then we move down. So this 79, it's just a percentage of like how far down do we go. So maybe we go to like, theirs even looks like maybe it's at like a 30%. So, or maybe we'll do 35 maybe, something like that. Cool. Now my canvas container is inside my hero. Yeah, so on the hero, which I haven't done anything for yet, let's just move this one up too, actually, because that's more like generic. So here we're going to say my hero has a position of relative. And the reason I want to do that is this is going to get a position of absolute, inset of 0, which is top, bottom, left, and right of 0. There's some collapsing margins happening there. Let's just put some padding on this. Padding 1em. There we go. Perfect. And the last thing I want to do, position relative, I'm also going to do an isolate to create a new stacking context. Not really needed in this case, but whenever I'm using negative Z indexes, I tend to do that. And on this, I am going to do a Z index of -1 to pull it behind the text. Cool. So I'm actually going to modify this just so we get more of the overlapping content, sort of how Stripe has it there. I know it's not exactly the same, but we're on the right track. And to show you what I was thinking I would have to do would be on my H1. And I mean, ideally here, I guess we'd have like class equals, I don't know, semi-transparent text, let's call it, just so we're being very specific where we're doing it. And so my first thought, semi-transparent text, is to do a blend mode, mix blend mode, and then play with them. So let's just try like, so if I do something like, what's the one, difference is always sort of kind of weird, difference. But I was running into problems like this, or if I did multiply probably won't do anything to the color of it, so it's always choosing the darkest. But even like a darken, like I wasn't getting the results that I needed. I was sort of stuck in this limbo land here, and I honestly don't know. So let's come over here and see how they did it. And let's dock this on the side because I think we'll be fine if it's docked. So let's find that text and see what they've done here and how they pulled this off. And the reason that it's kind of tricky, like I could just lower the opacity, obviously. Like we could say opacity of 0.5, but then, I mean, it doesn't even look good here. But then also here, it's so much lighter, right? So we are getting it to come through, even though it's not really coming through how I want it to. So like, yeah. So right away, when I'm looking in here, obviously the first thing I just noticed is I see the same text 3 times. So we have the text there, the text here, the text here. I'm guessing they're using JavaScript to actually put the text into these, would be my guess. Just so, yeah, data.js target list, and then they're saying they're getting the title. So they're getting, I don't know, they're getting the title from wherever, which is fine. So you write it once, you don't have to write it multiple times, which makes sense. They do have area hidden equals true on multiple of these, which is good. Let me just make this a little bit bigger. And is responsive mode on? Why did this get changed? I don't know. Anyway, for some reason, I'm zooming in on my dev tools here, and it's actually changing my page there, which I'm not sure I get, but that's okay. But yeah, we do have the area hidden true here, which is good because multiple text several times is a bad thing. So Stripe did that appropriately. Here's the gradient. Oh, so that's interesting. They have the gradient here, which has canvas, as you'd expect for something like that. And then they have text on top and on the bottom. Okay, so now what I want to do is find some of that text. So they are using a mixed blend mode with opacity of 1. And so here, if I turn that off, see what's happening? So they have like it's not black, the text, which is important too, because usually if you're using black, so they're using like a dark gray color on that. Here it looks a lot darker, so I'm guessing one of these, they have different colors. Font color, this is a really light color. That's interesting. Why is that one light? What if I change the font? Everything goes with it. Okay. And then we had it again though. We had 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. Which one's this? This is the one that we looked at. And then there's this one. Oh, this one. Maybe that's the one we looked at. So it's this one then. Has the same. Oh, this one has a low opacity on it. Position absolute. And that's their overlay. So I think what's happening here, they have this position absolute text going on top of the other text. Z index to layer it. A low opacity on it. Okay, well, okay, so we need to layer multiple things of text. So that's semi-transparent text. So I think what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to do it, I don't know how they did it, but let's come in on mine and just duplicate this. But instead of a H1, I'm just going to make it a P, because having multiple H1s doesn't really make sense. And we'll do that as an area hidden equals true, which we should get the same thing twice. Now what I'm actually going to do is take the text out of this one though. So let's delete all this text. So we have my H1 that actually has the text, then we have this empty paragraph. I'm going to have the same class on both, and maybe we should change, so instead of semi-transparent, let's call it hero title. And then this one will also be my hero title. Hero title, but we'll give it a data attribute is equal to, we'll call it overlay, I guess. Something like that, just so we can select it separately really easily. And then I think what we need to do is open up our main.js. And I'm going to leave all that there. And actually, let's put in a quick comment about where I found that. So that was here. Copy that. Following is from there. And then what we'll do is come in with some of our own JavaScript. So we're going to select our title first. So let me just zoom back out. There we go. So everything is fixed. So we're going to say, let's just say hero title is equal to document.query selector. And I'm just going to put in hero title. I'm not doing query selector all. I'm doing a single query selector, which means it's only going to grab this one. They both have that class on there, but it's just, I want to make sure they're styled, like same font size, same. Maybe I could do it with a span instead of doing it like this. Would that make more sense to do it as a span? And then I could just set inherit to, let's try that. Hero title, and then here we'll throw a span of hero title overlay, I guess. We can do that and leave it blank. Okay, let's try this instead. So hero title, not that it would make a difference one way or the other. Even if I had the class twice, this would stop at the first one. Then we'll do const hero title overlay is equal to, we can just say hero title, query selector, and just choose our span that's in there. We don't even really need the class span. There we go. Okay, so we have those two. Now we're going to say that my hero title overlay inner text is equal to the hero titles text. Or then we just say hero title dot text content. Save. There we go. So we doubled up our text. Doing that, I don't think I did this before. Span, we have that. So here we'll just do an area hidden is equal to true. So here there's nothing, but just to make sure that a screen reader or something doesn't read the same thing twice, because that would be super annoying. That's good. And the reason this is kind of nice, having the span in here instead of doing it their way, and there's nothing wrong with doing it their way, but I know I need to like layer stuff on top of each other. And if we need a third one, I could add another span, or maybe I have to rethink how I'm doing it, but we'll start with this. So we're going to start with one and then sort of go from there. So we have my hero title. By hero title, we'll get a position relative. And then the hero, hero title. And then my hero title overlay will get the position absolute, left of 0, top of 0 should do it. There we go. I think it's, let's just change the top to like 2 pixels. And it should, I think it's there. right? It's there. Let's shrink this down for a sec. 10. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so 0 means because this is nested in there, it lines up perfectly, which is exactly what we want. Oh no, maybe I made a mistake by nesting them. Because now if I change the opacity of the hero title, the overlay will get mucked as well. Okay, because remember one of them had a lower opacity. Okay, let's go back to Stripe here for a second. Oops, I just stop. Okay, I clicked on context sales, which I don't want. Because what they did is they have the text, then they have the gradient, and then they have the overlay. Okay, we'll worry about that in a second. I think what I'm going to do here is my hero, let's just give this a color of, we have to like make it different, right, from what it was, because the blend modes don't really work if you're working with pure black or pure white. They work, but they're harder to work with. So I'm just going to lighten this up a little bit. 444, 555, whatever. I want a lighter color, and we can play with that a little bit. And then we'll do the mix blend mode, and I forget which one they used. It was color burn, wasn't it? Color burn, is it like that? No. Now I can't find, color burn with a hyphen. I don't use color burn very often. So if I do that, okay, so this is working really well. The only problem is like the color here. Okay, 1 second, let me turn off, yeah, okay, so like say I turned off the span, I apparently break everything. Why? Oh, because my JavaScript's not running because it can't find it. Right. So let's just turn off this just for a second. Okay, so it looks like that. The main thing is it's working, but we need to darken it up. So I'm wondering if I could just, instead of doing it, there just had a few more layers going on, but I have position absolute. What if I just change the color of this one? Color is, no, this isn't going to work. Let's just say I do 111 for like, because now they're both, it's on top. So like you can still see it's sort of working. But I think that I don't want, let's just try mix blend mode. I don't think I can do this. And color black just for fun, or that's the, well, it's still blending. Because I can't, because this is nested in here, I can't on blend mode it basically, because it's getting, this has the blend mode, so that anything in there has a that blend mode put on it. So what we're going to do is the span doesn't work here. So we're going to make this a paragraph and move it outside of the H1 and then put in a hero title container. And do this. We have the hero title container, hero title overlay. Now I know I have a container and a hero title container. A container like this would be something I reuse everywhere. And I actually have to rethink these names to be wrappers potentially now that we have container queries. I think that I'm gonna have to really get used to calling them wrappers instead. But for now, I'm going to leave that like that. And this would be something I can reuse anywhere I want on the page, whereas this is something that actually needs to be different every time. So I think then what we'll do here, hero title overlay, is we'll just actually use the class hero title overlay. And of course, this would have to be in my document now, document. So that should fix everything. Aha, and it is working. Perfect. The problem is positioning, and all of that is broken. So we want to come down. So so we have my hero, then we have my hero title container, which will get the position of relative. This, I guess we don't actually need here now. It's already helping. And then, so here on my H1, what did I put? I'm just going to delete this. Hero title and hero title. I'm going to change this to be hero title overlay, data overlay, data. We're going to do that. And you'll see why in a second. Yeah, I'm going to do that. No. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay, so we're going to come back to my JavaScript. And we're going to look for our hero title data overlay. Sorry, I'm going a bit all over the place, but so this is my hero title. The reason I want to do that is so they both have the same styling. And then to say this one is different, we're going to use a data overlay. on there. And I could say like data overlay title equals like, I don't know, I could link it more specifically to one bit of text, I guess, if I wanted to. But by doing that, my hero title, we're going to put on all of these we'll put on all of these styles that were on my H1. We also want a font weight, apparently. Font weight, let's do 700, I'm guessing. Position relative, let's put a margin of 0, because that might margin of 0. Now they actually are lining up. And then the container here, maybe we can throw some padding on there. Padding block, top and bottom, is, I don't know, 3 rem or something. Oh no. Padding block does not work. Margin would, though. There we go. Just to get them to line up. Anyway, it's working. So we can see it's working for both of them. So now they're both getting this property, but now I can actually overwrite it because they're not nested in each other. So now I can say that my mix blend mode is revert. They're doing modifier classes here, which is basically what I'm doing with this data overlay. It's just a modifier. So they're getting, same idea, they're getting all the same properties, but then where they need to change it, so they just add a burn to give it the color burn. And the opacity of 1. Okay, so as you can see, I think I do it the other way around. Oh wait, okay, so they want their data overlay to be behind that, which I should be able to do actually, because if you remember on my hero, I did this isolate, which is creating a stacking context. And so because this is where the stacking context is right now, even though we have a position relative on this isn't creating a stacking context right now. So I could pull this out behind, I think. So to test this, I'm actually going to change the top here. Test, not on that one. On this one, the left top, let's change the top to like 20 pixels. Just so we see it's shifted down. So we have the effect working in the back. And then we have this other one. And let's just change the color here. Color to forest green. Just so we can really see the difference between the two. And I should be able to do a Z index -2 now. So that dark color is going behind. But if I did have other things going on, it's still stuck within that like main hero. It's just going behind that -1 of my canvas. So you don't necessarily need to order it here in a specific way. We can use that index for that as well. Now what I'm going to do is change the top back to 0. So they're like that. And the problem that's happening, there's 2 things. We're going to have to change that. But I think what we want to do is maybe, let's try like a 34, 34, 34 for the color. And then I'm going to, the effect is working, but it's so much stronger than with stripe. And that's why I was trying to figure out why they had an opacity of 3, but not on the one that has the color burn on it. Oh, not on the one that has color burn. They did 3A, 3A, 3A. I thought it was, because what I was thinking is here, what I would do is drop the opacity to like 8.3. So, oh no, that doesn't work at all. No, that doesn't work. Okay, maybe it's just the color they used. Let's try that then, 3A, 3A, 3A. And no opacity difference. I just find maybe it's just my colors, but we get that. And then here, the reason this is even dark right now, you can see when I highlight it, if we're getting like that green coming through, it's a bit of a happy accident that it's like kind of too strong there though. Maybe this is actually why they had 3 layers. Is you actually want one on top as well. What if I did this? I bring the green on top. We change the color of this one though. So we have the 3, let's just change this one to like a 111, so it's really dark. And then I just drop the opacity on that. Opacity of like 8.3 like they did. That sort of works, right? 0.5. And like the higher this opacity, the less strong the effect is, because this is covering that. So like at 0.9, we don't really see it. And at 0.7, we start seeing it come through just a little bit, but it's very subtle, 0.5. So the lighter the opacity on that one that's in front, the more it's actually working. And for me, that actually works pretty well. And maybe there's a good reason you'd want another one in back like they did. They seem to have 3 layers. But overall, I think it's pretty close to what they did. And this is just sort of the effect strength here. And you could even make that a thing where, say I came up on my, maybe it's on the hero or somewhere like this, you could do like effect strength And I could do like a 0.5, and you could just even here put like 0 to 1 scale, something like that. So it's the effect strength is that, and then down here, oh no, effect strength 1 would, okay, anyway, we could even do that 0 to 1 scale, and then here we could do a calc, just to show how we could do this, a var effect, can't spell, strength, did I spell it like that at the top? There we go, we spelled them right in both places now. So calc, and then here we could do 1 minus, right? So like 1 minus 1 would make this opacity 0, so it would be very strong. So if my effect strength is 1, it's black. But if my effect strength is 0.1, of course that actually just broke everything. I put in, I'm writing regular CSS, everyone. You can't do comments like that, I was breaking it. So let's bring this up back where it was. It could be on the hero title. So now if I put 1, it's gonna be super strong, and if I do like 8.5, it's medium, 0.3 is a little weaker, and so on and so forth. Yeah, okay, so it's just a way that we could use custom properties to like make things potentially easier than having to realize the opacity needs to be changed on there. So I know I did a lot of that on my own, but definitely needed to see what Stripe was doing in the first place. And if you like this type of video, please leave a comment down below to let me know. And if you'd like to see another one, I have done one in the past, so there is a video right here for your viewing pleasure. And with that, I would like to thank my enablers of awesome: Jen, Johnny, Kyle, Mr. Dave, Patrick, Simon, Steven, and Tim, as well as all my other patrons for their monthly support. And of course, until next time, don't forget to make your corner of the internet just a little bit more awesome.